I'm Jenny Laughlin, and I am the president of Richardson Area Democrats, also known as RAD. Progress Texas is the one that is keeping us informed and encouraged with information all the time. And we are just so thrilled that they're keeping on. We don't need to be sitting down and getting scared anymore. It's time to go.
Maybe get rad.
And get rad.
It's Monday, February 10th, 2025. This is the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch, rapid response on the breaking news stories Texas progressives need to know. I'm Chris Mosier. So Monday has become the day that we catch up with the weekend crazy, so let's just dive right on in here with the Economic Times as Texas transplant and international supervillain Elon Musk has become a character in Kanye West's land of make-believe. West has deleted his account on Musk's Twitter platform, but not before going hog wild with a series of anti-Semitic and inflammatory tweets, including openly declaring admiration for Adolf Hitler, i.e., I'm a Nazi, I love Hitler, and Hitler was so fresh. Musk gets his with one tweet that says, quote, Elon stole my Nazi swag at the inauguration. Yo, my guy, get your own third rail, unquote. Musk clearly inspiring all the right elements here. As Kanye goes dark on Twitter, concerns remain about the safety of his wife, Bianca Censori, over whom West says he has, quote, dominion, as he calls for Donald Trump to pardon Sean Diddy Combs for his crimes. Enough about that. We'd much rather tune into what Dallas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett has been teeing up lately. Sage Howard at Huffington Post covers Crockett's unflinchingly direct talk about the ongoing Republican assault on diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts across the spectrum of American life lately. She went on CNN's Laura Coates' show recently to point out that those who are supportive of the dismantling of DEI tend to be the same people who tend to benefit from falling forward, Donald Trump being a prime example. Crockett says, quote, coddling for the white boys is what's happening right now. If you're competent, you're not concerned, unquote. Howard cites a New York Times analysis from last fall that found that over our nation's history, the circumstances created by racism and discrimination led many marginalized people, black women, for example, to reject mediocrity because mediocrity was not an option for them. Today, black women outpace other groups when it comes to earning post-secondary degrees. Howard says, quote, those who oppose DEI don't want to have to be competent in order to get hired or promoted. Their problem is not with DEI itself. It is in their comfort of being rewarded for simply taking up space, unquote. Governor Greg Abbott is lately sending dual messages about education, pumping up private schools while tearing down public school teachers and the trans kids in their care. Abbott's been on a speaking tour at private Christian academies lately across Texas, promoting the voucher program his party is currently fast-tracking through the legislature, speaking to audiences eager to collect their private school tuition rebates on the dime of public school taxpayers. Omar Zapata at myrgv.com notes a statement from Sharyland ISD board member Megan Sullivan, who points out a potential future legal challenge to the private school voucher scam, the fact that the Texas Constitution mandates that the state provides free, efficient public education could render the diversion of public funds to private schools through vouchers unconstitutional. We shall see. Meanwhile, while he's promoting private schools that can simply exclude young kids who identify as trans, Edward McKinley at the San Antonio Express News says Governor Abbott has called for any public school teacher who even acknowledges that trans kids exist should be immediately fired. When asked if the governor's comments are likely to lead to new policy or a change to state law, a spokesman at his office pointed to an executive order he issued last week that says, quote, all Texas agencies must ensure that agency rules, internal policies, employment practices, and other actions comply with the law and the biological reality that there are only two sexes, male and female, unquote. In other words, trans people simply do not exist. This next one is just plain gross in my book. The Texas Tribune is reporting on an ongoing outbreak of measles in rural West Texas. Gaines County, not far from Lubbock, has seen at least 10 cases of measles lately, 8 among school-age kids, leading to concern that a broader outbreak is brewing. 7 of those cases have led to hospitalizations, and all are among people who have not been vaccinated against measles. The hesitation surrounding which is seen as the root cause of the frequently fatal disease's comeback after having been considered eliminated as recently as the year 2000. Gaines County, as is the case with practically all rural Texas counties, is heavily Republican-leaning. GOP state lawmakers have filed more than 20 bills so far this legislative session aimed at weakening vaccination mandates, with one proposal looking to amend the Texas Constitution to preserve Texans' right to refuse vaccinations. Let's talk Super Bowl real quick, in particular that latest He Gets Us commercial, the one featuring a Johnny Cash cover of a Depeche Mode song. If you got a little twinge of inspiration out of that, hey, good for you. But you do need to know where that message is coming from. Dallas-based advertising agency Lerma produced and placed it on behalf of the North Carolina-based nonprofit called Come Near, which Tessa Stewart and Andrew Perez at Rolling Stone say has close ties to the arts and crafts chain Hobby Lobby, who of course are known for convincing the U.S. Supreme Court to weaken a provision of the Affordable Care Act that required employers to provide health care coverage that includes birth control for their employees. Also, while Come Near says they aren't a church, they do have an IRS tax designation that is granted only to churches, meaning they don't have to file public tax returns, disclose how much money they're raising or from whom, how much they're spending or with whom, or release details on their advertising and marketing expenditures. They're essentially a shadow messaging entity hiding behind a religious tax exemption who has not only been exploiting NFL games, they're also all over the World Series, the NBA and NHL playoffs, NASCAR, and even the Grammys last week. Anyway, congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. Star QB Jalen Hurts is a proud son of Houston, as you might know. He played for Channelview High School. You know they're fired up this morning. As is Progress Texas Executive Director Kathleen Thompson and her family. I could hear them yelling in Dallas all the way from Austin last night. Meanwhile, Dallas sports writer Ari Wasserman comments, quote, Patrick Mahomes playing like Tommy Tuberville coached him, unquote, and ouch. As we close, a great resource for those of you who are looking to exert as much control as you can over a political situation that seems out of control lately. Austin Chronicle writer Mark Savlov has long been one of my favorite local wordsmiths, and though he didn't write this, he did post it on Facebook, a complete guide for how to best hassle your elected officials, recommending FaceTime events when you can find one, daily calls to all your representatives in both D.C. and Austin, how to speak to the staffer you reach there, and more. See the link in the show notes. February is Black History Month, and Progress Texas advocacy associate Tatum Owens has put together a great essay on this year's celebration, taking place amidst so much opposition and turmoil, including an extensive list of Black History Month's events taking place across the state. Link in the show notes for an important read on Black History Month this year, perhaps more important than ever to understand and to uplift, and that listing of celebration opportunities happening across Texas throughout the month of February. Our funding at Progress Texas is rarely sufficient for us to plan much more than a quarter or two ahead, but the conservative disinformation machine has no such obstacle. They're funded by oil and tech billionaires and religious right-wing activist groups. Our regular everyday listeners form a key component of our funding here at Progress Texas, so if that's you, we could use your support as a monthly contributor, and no amount is too small. Go to progresstexas.org/donate. Thanks to Steve Lemons, Jamie Matlock, and Emily Evans, all of whom have joined the team lately. Appreciate all of y'all. For our Austin listeners in particular, but really to all of you, the Amplify Austin Day season is officially underway as this year's early giving period has started. Look up Progress Texas at amplifyatx.org or see the direct link in the show notes. The official I Live Here, I Give Here Amplify Austin Day is coming up early next month. That's the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch for this Monday, February 10th, 2025. Links to all these original stories can be found in our show notes. Progress Texas is a nonprofit, rapid response media organization promoting progressive messages and actions. While campaigns come and go, we're the permanent home for progressive media and action in the Lone Star State. I'm Chris Mosier. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day and a great week. We'll see you again tomorrow morning.